the Citizens Committee also needs to result in accountability and consequences. Because we can educate all day and all night, but if there's no consequences, they'll just keep doing what their human natural instincts tell them to do.
I would like, just like a small suggestion. I live in France from 6 years. I know the law. It's very important to know your rights and your responsibility in always, everywhere in all the society. But in Palestine, I don't know it. So if we can, like a suggestion, to put small lecture in school, I mean at I don't know 15 years or 14, to explain for the girls and boys what's your rights and your responsibility to know. I don't know, like a Palestinian. I live in Palestine for 6 years, but I don't know what's my rights, like state. I don't know, really.
I think the authority has to concentrate on the social problems. And the social problems, like, I will give you an example. About 2-3 years ago, a gentleman came to San Francisco on a fundraising mission for people who are addicted to drugs. And he said they have 100,000 people who are addicted to drugs in the West Bank, in the Palestinian territory. 100,000 people in a small, very, very tiny country is a high percentage. And this should be a priority for any government, you know, to tackle this issue and try to solve it. Because if you have 100,000 people on drugs, and this will kill the society within a few years. So he should not be coming to the U.S. collecting a few $1,000s, come back and fight it. It should be a government issue, and these issues should be handled immediately, because in a few years, if you have 100,000 now, and maybe in 2, 3, 5 years, you'll have 300,000-400,000. Then you have a society will collapse.
Well, for example, I don't know, maybe this, I mean, you know that in Colombia, there's a lot of drug use.
That's where you come from.
No, but for instance, I know no one that does drugs. I mean, in Colombia, I know no one that does drugs, but it's a reality. And what I think is that, what I know that happens there is that in Colombia, there are many programs and people talk freely about drugs in school. We have classes where they say, okay, you have to use, for example, condoms, you have to, like, say no when someone offers you drug. They teach us this drug does that. I mean, people talk about it freely, and there are like programs outside schools to limit the use of drugs, and there are centers that like receive drug addicts. But I don't think that the culture here, not regardless of religion, but of the Arab culture in general, and very conservative societies, I don't know if it's viable, or I mean, it will be possible that people in schools dare to speak about drugs. I don't think that's, I mean, it will be like a scandal to speak about drugs. Yeah.
About the soldiers or policemen in Palestinian National Authority, actually when they hire someone, like someone they want to put in the street, like before a year, they put like 2001 with the contracts. Contracts with the contracts. طيب. This policeman, يعني they look, they should be more than 180 something. They should their vision be good. They should have no flat foot, and that's it. يعني, and they ask for people that they don't have certificates. And if they search that you have a certificate, they will not allow you to be a policeman, because they don't want to pay you for your certificate. They just want to pay you, like, let's say $200, $300 per month, okay? With no health insurance, with nothing. So when there is a policeman in the street, get salary, let's say $300, $400. They are not enough for his food and for his cigarettes. Is not well educated. When you talk him about gender equality and human rights, شو بتخرف يا عمالك? That I think that's a big problem.
You have to consider the source.
Mayor, it's to actually now just put the points of the problems, and these are all ways of finding solutions. I think we should really just come up with maybe choose, I don't know, social deviant behavior, police...
Brutality. Brutality.
Uneducated.
Yeah, let's call it brutality, yes, partly, no, not brutality.
Well, not
it's,
brutality, what he's talking about is
police
uneducated.
behavior.
Uneducated.
حتى some of it is يعني كيف بدي اسميها غير مؤدب.
But
هلا بتطلع
nicer
لي.
word.
Choose one of the subject يعني وهدول recommendations of how to do it. Now a lot of it will go back to education. A lot of it will be يعني there are millions of psychology books written about people's and culture and anthropology, is it?
Sociology?
Or sociology of why or how. And we're not, I don't think, at least I'm not, I can tell you what I read.
Everybody gets one, hey?
And
You get something out of this meeting.
Personal view on, we've studied lots of criminal behavior and deviant behavior and whatever, whether it's labeling, you tell somebody he's a terrorist long enough, he actually does become a terrorist somehow. If there's somebody, he's a criminal, and this is in criminology, this is, and if you put somebody, the wrong person in the wrong job, he will fail, and he will fail drastically, and that's what we're doing, obviously. So these are all solutions to, let's put the problem, the major, what we agree on.
Right.
The young lady here, sorry,
Odette.
Odette?
Let's hear from lady here.
We talk about the human right a lot, and it's on our vision. But this country too, we don't respect it. We don't have enough power to implement it. And I think we have to suggest training people, the training their right, their obligation and their duty, and to have a council to observe human rights
حنان
abuse.
عشراوي عندها Commission on Human Rights.
Aman.
Huh?
Aman. What's
Aman, yeah. She has a Commission on Human Rights that maybe, well, I mean, maybe it can be tied in with it, but along those lines, and the drugs, we went to Jerusalem a couple days ago to a women's group that deals with domestic violence. And she explained to us that it's a major issue because the women have nowhere to go.
No power.
No safe place.
They have nowhere to go. And even as she's explaining it to us, she was telling us how, oh, you were there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was telling us how they encourage her to go back home by talking to both parties. And to be honest with you, the person that was telling us, I don't know that if she has the expertise or the background or training to do that. It's just a nice person that, and I don't know her background, but so there's a need, and then she explained to us how they end up, because there's no shelters, they end up in shelters in Israel,